The day dawned with promises of joy and merrymaking, but little did I know that my birthday would descend into a nightmare that would forever etch itself into the archives of my memory. Earlier that morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, casting its golden rays upon me as I slept in, my mother had greeted me with a tender kiss for a heartfelt wish for a day filled with laughter and love. With childlike glee, I had skipped down the stairs, my heart overflowing with excitement. Breakfast was a delightful feast, complete with fluffy pancakes and fresh fruit. My family and friends gathered around the table, their cheerful chatter filling the air with a sense of warmth and camaraderie. As we shared stories and sipped on black coffee, I couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude from the blessing in my life. After the breakfast, my friends insisted on taking me out for the day of adventure. We embarked on a scenic hike through a nearby forest, where towering trees cast intricate shadows upon the sun-dappled path. As we explored the hidden nooks and crannies of a woodland, the sound of our laughter echoed through the verdant canopy. Time seemed to slip away as we made our way to the secluded waterfall. Its thunderous roar filled the air, creating a mesmerizing symphony that washed over us like a soothing balm. We marveled at its beauty, capturing the moment with our cameras before deciding to take a refreshing dip in the crystal-clear pool at its base. As I submerged myself in the icy water, a shiver ran down my spine. The chilling sensation persisted, but I diminished it as a momentary lapse in judgment. However, as I resurfaced, my blood ran cold. My friends, who had been frolicking in the water just moments before, were nowhere to be seen. Panic surged through me as I frantically scanned my surroundings, calling out their names, but my cries were met with an eerie silence. In a moment of desperation, I scrambled out of the pool and began searching for any sign of my companions. I stumbled through the underbush, my breath coming in ragged gasps. The forest, which had once been so inviting, now seemed like a labyrinth of shadows, filled with unseen threats. As darkness enveloped the forest, my fear reached its peak. The trees seemed to whisper mockingly, the branches reaching out like grasping claws. The once familiar sounds of nature now filled me with terror. Every rustling leaf, every snapping twig sent shivers down my spine. Suddenly, a guttural growl pierced the silence. I froze in my tracks, my heart pounding in my chest. Slowly, I turned my head towards the source of the sound, my eyes wide with terror. There, standing amidst the trees, was a creature that defied description. Its eyes glowed a supernatural red, and its razor-sharp teeth were bared in a menacing snarl. Its fur were matted with blood and gore, and claws seemed capable of tearing through flesh with ease. Fear propelled me forward as I turned and ran. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I had to get away from that horrifying creature. Behind me, I could hear the sound of heavy footsteps pursuing me, its growls growing louder with each passing moment. I stumbled through the darkness, my lungs burning and my legs screaming for respite, but I couldn't stop. Behind me, the monster was relentlessly closing in. With a surge of adrenaline, I leapt over a falling log and crashed into a dense thicket. I huddled there, my body trembling uncontrollably. The monster's footsteps passed me by, and for a brief moment, silence descended upon the forest. But I knew it was only a matter of time before it found me again. As if to confirm my fears, I heard the unmistakable sound of its claws scraping against the bark of a nearby tree. It was circling, closing in my hiding spot. I squeezed my eyes shut and waited for the inevitable. Suddenly, The air around me grew heavy with an impressive presence. I could feel the monster's foul breath on my skin, and his raspy voice whispered in my ear. "You cannot escape me," it hissed. "This is your birthday, and I've come to celebrate it in my own special way." I couldn't bear to listen to its taunts any longer. With a desperate cry, I jumped to my feet and ran. I stumbled and tripped over unseen obstacles, but I refused to give up. Behind me, the monster growled and gave chase. I ran until my legs buckled beneath me. I collapsed on the forest floor, my body racked with exhaustion and terror. The monster loomed over me, its eyes blazing with unholy fire. As its claws reached out to claim me, I closed my eyes and prepared for the end. But then a blinding light filled the darkness, and the monster let out a piercing wail. When I opened my eyes, the monster was gone. The forest was silent once more, save for this gentle rustling of leaves and the distant hooting of a howl. I sat there for a long moment, struggling to comprehend what had just happened. Slowly, I stood up and made my way back to civilization. As I emerged from the forest, I was greeted by the warm glow of the rising sun. But the horrors I have witnessed that night would forever haunt my dreams, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of even the most joyous occasions.